Hello again. So, yeah, my phone, all the storage was full. So I had to make a little bit of adjustment to get going again. So sorry about that. Anyway, as I was saying, Teapot Cozy, Andrea from my LYS Natural Ewe Yarns here in Pictou, Nova Scotia, designed it. And you can pick up a kit right from their website, 25 bucks Canadian. How good is that? So it comes with the pattern. This cozy is for chilly days when you want to pull on your fisherman's knit sweater, right? Knit from the bottom up, work flat, seamed over the handle side. You split into two sides of the cozy for the spout and then work both sides of the teapot simultaneously using separate balls of yarn. Pattern is available as a PDF after purchase. 100 grams of Maritimer worsted weight yarn, and 4 and 5 millimeter needles, some stitch markers, and of course, you know, your darning needle and what have you. So the kit, 25 bucks Canadian. There are, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 7 color choices. Yeah, it's such a fun project for either you to knit up yourself or to gift to somebody at the kit. So yeah, so that is the first finished object that I have, is this excellent Maritimer Tea Cozy. Oh, looking forward to using that. And it just looks so cute on my counter, FYI. Okay, the second project that I finished, just some small projects. This is called the Dissymmetry Cowl by Sweet Paprika Designs, designed by Elizabeth Sullivan. Whoops. And it is a beginner level pattern because it is in glorious, glorious garter stitch. Excuse me. It's a free pattern on Ravelry. Bulky weight yarn, 6.5 millimeter needles. I used 6 millimeter because I didn't have 6.5. And 3 buttons. It calls for 3/4 inch buttons in diameter, but yeah, I use different ones. So I knit this up out of Malabrigo Mecca in the Dewberry colorway. Malabrigo, yeah. So that is 119 meter of bulky weight, 100 grams, 11 to 13 stitches to 4 inches. It's 100% superwash merino Mecca. Now, I was lucky enough to get this yarn out on a destash from the lovely fairy godfather, Matthew. Thank you, Matthew. So look at that color. And I had these fun buttons in my collection. So the way, let me just see if I can figure this out while I'm recording. So there are buttonholes here, and there's a buttonhole here. So, you know, you can button it like this and wrap this around, or you can button it like that with this kind of hanging down. So there's lots of ways to make it. It is a super easy knit. And I used up almost the entire skein. I think I have, you know, I don't know, like enough to sew another button on. But look at the color. I mean, you can tell this is Malabrigo, right? Just their color is amazing. So I have, I don't know if you can see up there, I have 3 more cakes of Malabrigo that I'm saving, that I got from Matthew, that I'm saving for an upcoming project that I can't talk about yet, but I'll be highlighting those next time around. So that is the Dissymmetry Cowl by Elizabeth Sullivan. I'll just make the project, there's, so you see you can button it there and there. Whoops. They used smaller buttons. So you see it's a small project, right? So you can wear it any way you want and use any great bulky weight. So 126 projects on Ravelry. It was September 2018 it was published. So it's been around for a bit. So if you're looking for a super quick knit, if you need a last minute gift item and you've got some bulky weight or you've got some other weights that you could hold double, knit it up. But really, honestly, even if you didn't have bulky weight, I think you could pretty much use anything as long as you meet the, as long as you met the schematic here, which is shown here. So at its widest width, it shows as 6¼ inches, and the length tip to tip is 28 inches. So as long as you met that, I think you'd be good. So that's a free pattern. So check that out. So that is my second finished object. Now, works in progress. I have a few. So you may recall from last episode, I am working on a test knit called the Texo sweater. And I haven't gotten, so I've got the top back finished and I have the right front. So I have just picked up for the left front. And then once the left front is knit, then you join under the arms and knit the body. So obviously an all over cabled sweater. I'm using Fisherman's Wool from Lion Brand because I had it in my stash and I managed to get gauge. So I can't show you the full project because that's against the rules, but it's coming along nicely. It's not a, that's kind of why I knit up that little scarf, because I just needed to get away from the cables for a while. But I'm enjoying the knit. It is a great knit. Okay, second work in project. Second work in process, you know what I mean. I am knitting, whoops, what's going on here? There we go. I cast this on just last night while I was watching the hockey game because, again, I need something in my hands that is easy peasy lemon squeezy. So this is a hat that I am knitting out of Botanical Fibres Feather. This is Botanical Fibres Feather. The hat is a free pattern on Ravelry called the Warm Cap by Elizabeth Schatz. And it's a 1x1 rib, and then just plain knit in the round until the decreases, and then you decrease. So the yarn, Botanical Fibres, the lovely Emma, who gave me yarn support for a new sock pattern that I am going to talk to you about in a moment. So this this feather is 74% alpaca suri and 26% silk. It is lovely. This is the amethyst colorway. I don't know if it's really showing up really well there. It's kind of a gray mauve, and it's just impossibly soft. So I am I'm quite certain I'll have that finished in the next couple of days, but there it is. So I will link down to Botanical Fibres website. She's an amazing dyer, and you should check out her yarn. So that is my second kind of work in progress, or that's my standby work in progress as I'm working on that Texo sweater. So, so the next thing, these just went into test. I am also using Botanical Fibres Sensible Sock for my next sock design, and these are the Sunspot Socks. So I pulled these off the needles and put it on waste yarn, and gave it a quick block, so you can see. So this is the Sunspot Socks that are going to be out at the beginning of the year. They are in testing now. I am looking for a couple of other testers to try or to test out the smaller sizes. I'm writing the pattern in 3 sizes. So if you are interested in testing, that would be great. Even if you can get 1 sock done, that would be fabulous. So it gives you an idea. Now, I mean, I've knit these up with the sunspots just on the front of the sock, but as with most of my sock patterns, if you would like, you can also do it on the back. So yeah, these are the Sunspot Socks. And again, the yarn support is Botanical Fibres in Sensible Sock. So Sensible Sock, isn't that beautiful? It's so soft. I wish that you could feel this. 80% merino, 20% nylon polyamide. Fingering weight, 370 meters per skein or 100 grams. And I'm knitting my socks on 2.25 millimeter needles. So let me know if you're interested in trying or testing out the smaller or the medium size, okay? And then the other thing that I am doing that I wanted to show you is, so I love cross stitching. I think I've talked to you about this a time or two before, but I really do enjoy cross stitching. Sometimes, you just need to put your needles down, right? And so I came across this group on the Facebook that is called the Steady Thread Black Work Stitch Along. And what this is a year-long stitch along where you choose a border. So here is the border that I have chosen. You choose a border, and then each week is released a pattern that will fit into one of these boxes. So you do 1 box each week. And I mean, you can see that these boxes are not very big. So the weekly stitching is not going to take long. So I've just started stitching up my borders, so I'm a little bit ahead of the game come January. But of course, that in and of itself wasn't enough. Here, by the way, is the Facebook group, the Steady Thread Black Work Stitch Along. It's free. I know, can you even believe it? It's free. Then I also came across a second stitch along, and this is by a UK maker called Peppermint Purple. So it's the same idea, it's free, or in this case, you can add on, so it comes with 2 borders, like I just showed you. So kind of those are the borders for this particular stitch along. If that doesn't float your boat, No big deal. There are other borders that you can purchase the pattern, and they're extremely reasonable. So just to give you an idea, additional borders. There we go. Whoops. Sorry, I'm not cell member area. So you join up, and the website gives you like a whole calendar of when is what's happening and what's coming up. So if those borders, which are here, the free borders that I just showed you, if those don't float your boat, you can purchase other layouts, and there are loads of them, and they're very reasonable, $12, $10, that kind of thing. So, I wasn't too thrilled with those borders. I mean, they're not bad, but they certainly just weren't floating my boat. So I purchased this. I don't know if you can see that very closely. So basically in these boxes here, each week there's going to be something release, a pattern release that I'm going to fill in here. But these colored areas out here, so the blue says winter, and then we've got spring, summer, and fall. Excuse me. So you don't have to spend money on these unless you want to. I think $12 or $13 is a fabulous value for this, considering that the rest of it is free. And again, you don't have to purchase the paid for borders. You can use the free one. So I'm going to put a link down below. Full transparency, it is an affiliate link. So if in the end you decide to purchase one of the borders, I get a little bit of a store credit, but you don't have to. You can use all of the free stuff. So please check it out if stitching is kind of something you'd like to check it out. I like the idea of this because it's a small little project each week. It's not a huge thing, but then by the end of the year you have a beautiful finished product. So I'll put links to both of the groups, and you can check it out if that's something that you like. Okay, so I mentioned about the Christmas Eve episode that is going to be at 1 p.m. at Atlantic. I am casting on my Christmas project, and I talked to you about this before. I am going to be knitting the Coorie In Poncho by Amy Palco, the Meaningful Stitch podcast. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that. Whew, so pretty. And I have 100% definitively decided that I will be using Frankie Gray Fibres DK in the Sand Dollar colorway. And then I have this beautiful sock sparkle that I will be using along with this to put some, like I might cast on the neck with this, do a couple of rows, and then do a couple rows at the end of the ribbing just for some pop. So that is going to be my Christmas Eve cast on. I'm really trying to not cast it on until December 24th, but I have to tell you, it's getting really difficult. And then I showed you, oh shoot, I'm sorry, I should have grabbed this. I showed you last episode this great collection of yarns that I got from Frankie Gray Fibres. These beautiful 4 colors here. This is DK weight. So I have narrowed down the projects to, and strangely enough, they're both Joji Locatelli projects. So I'm thinking about the Suburban Wrap by Joji. I think that that is a great, great project that will highlight the yarn well. So there's that one. Whoops. What was the other one? Joji Locatelli. What is it? Oh, the Frank shawl, I think it was. That I had it up here, but apparently I have inadvertently closed it. Let me see if I can quickly find it. Sorry about that. Frank shawl. There it is. Oh, and I just thought maybe the Frank shawl is the logical choice, seeing as I'm using Frankie gray fibers. I don't know. Anyway, this is the Frank shawl, again by Joji Locatelli. Nice big, big shawl. So I'm kind of, you know, going back and forth between the two. I don't know. I think maybe I'll just kind of think about that and I'll decide. Maybe by next episode, I'll let you know which one I've chosen. Now, I have both of those patterns in my library already, so that's a plus, actually using something in my library. So anyway, I'll see. So that's the plans for this. Excuse me. Okay, so a couple of new, sorry, where am I going to put this yarn? Right here. There we go. A couple of new acquisitions, not yarn, but books. So if you are interested in writing your own knitting patterns and what have you, this book, I saw this book on Grocery Girls, and so I investigated it a little bit and then knew that I had to purchase it. So the Knitting Pattern Writing Handbook, How to Write Great Patterns That Knitters Will Love to Make by Christina McGrath and Sarah Walworth. Chock full of amazing information, things that I have never even thought of. So check this out, because for sure this is going to be a reference book that you're going to want in your library if you are going to or already are designing patterns. So that was my acquisition number one. It was actually, I got a gift card for Christmas, and so it was an Amazon gift card, and so I just jumped on Amazon and I bought that. And then I also treated myself to these two amazing books by Andrea Rangel. So Knitovation and Alternate. So these, of course you've seen these before, I'm quite certain. They are, you know, chock full of different color work patterns. I will be taking advantage of these quite a bit. So they were really great additions to my knitting library, that's for sure. You know, I don't often buy books anymore. I usually have digital copies, but these, I just thought, you know what, I want these in my library. So there we go. All right. I think that is it. Okay, yeah. All right, so let's get into the Knitter's Oracle for today. I'll pull a card. Let's see what we get today. All right. The needles. Interesting. 32. All right. The needles. Something necessary the missing piece, the key, a revelation, a liberation, freedom, something that opens a new door or clears a new path. The needles. The missing piece, a key, a revelation, a liberation, freedom. Oh, that's interesting. You know, what comes to my mind with that freedom is, isn't it true that if you don't have good needles for a project, it is absolutely unfree, right? I mean, think about that. So you've got, I'll use, you know, my favorite needles are Chigu, right? So I use them almost exclusively. I have a full set of Addy lace, which I used to think were fantastic until I started using Chigu. And the amazing freedom in the flow of my knitting changed when I changed my needles. Is it important to have the most expensive tool in your arsenal, you know, for your knitting projects? No, because not everybody can afford the most expensive tools. But if you can, you know, piece by piece build, once you find what tools give you the freedom to knit the way you love to knit, once you can, you know, add to that kind of kit of tools that you have, even if it's piece by piece, just thinking about that makes me think of the freedom that I had, you know, using those new tools. I didn't know that I wasn't enjoying using the Addy lace until I used another style of needle. Now, that being said, the Addy lace is great needles, just not for me anymore, right? So I don't even know if that made sense, but it's where I went. So something necessary, the missing piece. So yeah, maybe that's kind of where I'm coming from. The Chigus were the missing piece for me to find that freedom in my knitting, right? Maybe that makes a little more sense. A revelation, the key, something that opens a new door or clears a new path, for sure. So those cords on those red cords on the Chigu needles opened up my sock knitting to the nth degree. Once I started using those cords, Magic Loop was my absolute 100% go-to every single time, for socks, for gloves, for hats, for anything in like circular like that. Yeah, there is a bit of a liberation there. So what do your needles mean to you? Think about the needles that you have in your needle stash, and what do they mean to you? Interesting. All right, my friends, that is it for today. I will try to splice the two parts together from whence I got cut off. I hope that you get in some great knitting time. I hope you get out to support your LYS like I'm going to today, heading down to the Makers Market down on the waterfront. I'll post some pictures on my Instagram feed once I'm there. Do support your LYS, because that's why they survive by us supporting them. So please get on out and support your LYS. Or if you're called to do so and you don't have an LYS, come and support my LYS. I would love it if you would do that. So all for today. Take good care. We'll see you in a couple weeks for the live episode on Christmas Eve or Christmas afternoon Eve. And I hope to see you there. Bye for now.